light thins out across the room, not fading, just refined. The windows catch a longer hue, like time is being kind. Cups sit quiet, half complete. The day adjusts its breathing speed. Nothing has to hurry through this view. No signal telling me to wait, no pressure to pretend. Every sound knows where it lands and understands. Before the sun slips behind the line, I stay right where I am. I don't trade this open time for a future plan. Before the sun slips behind the line and shadows learn their place, I stay awake, aligned, intact inside this space. Conversations lower key, not less alive, just free. A chair pulls back, then settles in, respecting where we've been. I reread thoughts I almost closed. They fit this hour more than most. This is where the edits land by hand. No fatigue behind my eyes, no reason to divide. Everything feels evenly ready. Before the sun slips behind the line, nothing pulls me out. I don't lean into the dark, I don't lean toward doubt. Before the sun slips behind the line, I hold my ground. I stay awake inside this calm and listen to the sound. If the day releases hold, I don't drop what it's controlled. Nothing breaks because it bends, nothing ends because it ends. There's a strength in standing still while the light completes its will. Just enough awareness kept well set. The city hums a softer tone, not gone, just overgrown. I save my work without a rush, trusting what I've touched. This is where the evening waits, not behind but at the gate. I don't rush to cross the seam between. No drifting off, no closing eyes, no need to summarize. Breathing even, posture straight, aware, awake. Before the sun slips behind the line and day gives way, I remain awake, composed, I don't fade. Before the sun slips behind the line, I stay intact, I remain clear, aligned, exact inside this act. The sun slips, I stay. Screens glow brighter than before, but not enough to pull me in. The room has learned its working tone, a quiet, steady discipline. Cups refill without a word, pages turn and pause, then learn. Every sound is doing less, is somehow doing it best. No urgency inside the beat, no reason for my pulse to speed. Everything is finding place at a natural pace. Mid-morning finds its shape in me, not shy, but clearly drawn. I don't rush what I'm about to be, I let the focus come on. Mid-morning finds its shape and stays. days without a fight. I stay awake inside these hours with a calm exact light. Footsteps pass, then thin again. The crowd dissolves to who remains. A laptop hums, a pen taps twice. Thoughts arrive without it rise. I don't chase the perfect frame, I let it come, I name it late. This is where the work feels true, not new, not overdue. No pressure hiding in the sound, no need to prove I'm locked in now. Every minute earns its role by getting home. Mid-morning finds its shape, and I don't interfere. Nothing pulls my clarity, nothing pulls me near. Mid-morning finds its shape and holds without demand. I stay steady in this focus by my own hand. If I shift, the room adjusts. If I stay, it builds on trust. Nothing needs me to be fast, nothing asks me to outlast. There's a strength to staying plain, letting rhythm do the same. Just enough attention given to what's living. Sunlight climbs the far wall now, not dramatic, not a vow. The city works at half a voice, breathing space inside the noise. I write, I stop, I read it through, make it better, not brand new. This is where the hours grow, quietly slow. No drifting off, no heavy head, no need to wish I stayed in bed. Breathing even, vision wide, aligned. Mid-morning finds its shape in me, and that feels honest, right? I don't need intensity, I don't need to fight. Mid-morning finds its shape and steers until it's time. I remain awake, composed, precise inside this line. Mid-morning, exactly here. The clock keeps time without advice, it doesn't rush me through. The street outside is moving on, I'm still allowed to choose. The light is steady on my notes, no shadow in the way. I read the line I left last night, it stays. No message asking me to hurry, no reason to explain. Everything I'm doing now can wait. Nothing is urgent today, I can stay. I don't trade this quiet focus for delay. Nothing is urgent today, clear and plain. I stay awake, aligned and steady in my lane. A cup refills, the sound is soft, it fades before it lands. Someone speaks, then lets the room return to what it was. Time doesn't point at what's undone or what's ahead. This is how the middle holds my head. No push from what comes next, no pull from what was said. Everything remains enough. Nothing is urgent today, and that's fine. I don't know the moment's speed or a sign. Nothing is urgent today, I remain awake, aligned and present in this frame. this quiet line, the page stays open wide. I add a word, then read it back, it still applies. This is where the hours pass without a claim. I don't need to prove my focus, I remain. No drifting out, no inward bend, breathing even to the end. Nothing is urgent today, and I stay. Nothing pulls my clarity away. Nothing is urgent today, I stay intact, awake, aligned and steady. Act. Nothing urgent today. Nothing rushes the minute, no push, no pull. It opened itself and stays full. The desk feels steady, unchanged, a screen, a note, a workable range. Nothing urging me to move ahead, nothing tapping what's unsaid. Outside, the street holds warmer light, still measured, still right. The city lets the second pass unforced. I don't hurry the sequence, I don't wait. I let the minute move on at its rate. There's no urgency in the moment, no cue to speed. Everything continues clearly as needed. Nothing rushes the minute I stay. I move through the late afternoon this way. No warmth pressing on attention, no pull. Nothing rushes the minute and works. It works. Screens glow neutral, gently warm. Messages arrive with form. They don't compress the line of thought, they pass. Keys repeat a measured line, not rushed, not slow. The space between the sounds feels whole. Time doesn't tighten the process, it assists. It lets the late afternoon continue consistent. If I lean in, the tempo stays. If I pause, nothing frays. Everything keeps holding form as it plays. Nothing rushes the minute I stay. I move through the late afternoon this way. No warmth pressing on attention, no pull. Nothing rushes the minute and works. The cup is empty, focus firm. The air feels warm, still serviceable. I don't mark the passage, it's fine. Outside, clouds thin as they move. Still no cue to stop, neither do I. I'm steady still. One small task, then one again. No cue to hurry. This is how the late afternoon works, when minutes breathe. I don't need the minute shorter, I don't need it long. If it stays exactly like this, I'm on. No rise, no fall, no quick and pull, just time. Nothing rushes the minute I stay. I move through the late afternoon this way. No warmth pressing on attention, no pull. Nothing rushes the minute and works. Rushes the minute, no. Rushes the minute, no. The afternoon continues unhurried. The door closes softer now, not shut, just understood. The room keeps only what it needs and lets the rest feel good. Lights stay low but never fade. They know exactly where to be. Nothing here is calling sleep, it's clarity. No weight behind my eyes, no blur in any line. Every sound is trimmed and clean, serene. It's quiet, but I'm still clear. Right where I stand, I don't sink into the silence. I still understand. It's quiet, but I'm still clear. Calm and exact, I stay awake, aligned, intact inside this track. The bass becomes a single step, still walking underneath. The drums speak once, then step aside. They don't repeat. A melody appears, then leaves, like it respects the time. This is where the night begins to find. No pull toward drifting down, no need to leave the sound. Everything remains in view, true. It's quiet, but I'm still clear, and that feels right. I don't trade my awareness for the night. It's quiet, but I'm still clear. I stay exact, awake, aligned, and present in this act. If the dark moves closer now, I don't soften, I don't bow. Nothing fades because it's slow, nothing slows because it's slow. There's a strength in quiet tone when attention stands alone. Just enough stillness to remain sane. Outside settles into black, inside holds its line. I reread something I just wrote, it still feels fine. This is where the cafe rests without sleep. I don't lose the thread I hold, I keep. No drifting off, no heavy head, no wish I stayed in bed. Breathing even, posture straight, aware, awake. It's quiet, but I'm still clear, and I remain. Nothing pulls my clarity out of frame. It's quiet, but I'm still clear, still intact, awake, aligned, and steady in this fact. Still clear. calm, the room is clear. Silence works while I am here. I notice quiet doing more than any sound I heard before. No instruction, no reply, just a space that passes by. Light stays steady on the desk, nothing extra to request. I remain where I began, silence doing what it can. There's no need to fill the air, quiet already takes care. I don't add and I don't try, let the calm keep passing by. Silence doing its job, nothing missing, nothing wrong. I don't push and I don't stop, I just move along. Time unfolds without a cue, focus forms because it's true. Silence doing its job, this is how the work holds on. Coffee rests beside the page, warm enough for this calm stage. Outside moves in distant sound, inside stays on steady ground. Thoughts appear then settle down, no need to chase them around. I allow them space to land, silence steady close at hand. I don't question what I hear, nothing loud needs to be clear. Morning works the subtle way, quiet carries me through the day. Silence doing its job, nothing missing, nothing wrong. I don't push and I don't stop, I just move along. Time unfolds without a cue, focus forms because it's true. Silence doing its job, this is how the work holds on. Tasks arrive without a sound, like they knew where I was found. I can meet them one by one, not outraced and not undone. Breathing even, posture light, attention stays within sight. In this calm I clearly see, quiet works naturally. I don't need a louder sign, this is rhythm clean and fine. Every quiet moment spent builds the focus permanent. Light remains and so do I, neither rushing, neither shy. This is how the morning stays, silence working in its ways. Silence doing its job, nothing missing, nothing wrong. I don't push and I don't stop, I just move along. Time unfolds without a cue, focus forms because it's true. Silence doing its job, this is how the work holds on. Morning keeps the quiet tone, nothing added, nothing gone. Silence stays, the work goes on. I continue, calm and strong. It's still early in the ordinary light, nothing glowing, nothing bright. The room holds steady without a sign, just a shape of morning taking time. The floor feels cool beneath my feet like it always does. The day hasn't chosen what it wants from us. A chair pulled out, a screen awake, the quiet hum of things in place. I don't name the hours yet, I let them settle, I let them rest. Outside the light is undecided, not sharp enough to lead. It rests on walls and window frames like it doesn't need to be seen. There's no moment asking me to feel more than I do, just a steady sense of something true. It's still early in the ordinary light, nothing calling me to rise. I move through the hours gently without asking why. No spark I need to find, no feeling I must fight. It's still early in the ordinary light, and that feels right. That feels right. Messages arrive in pairs, they wait without complaint. I read them once, then once again, let meaning rearrange. The work appears in fragments, not a shape but close. I take what's near enough and leave the rest alone. Time doesn't narrow down, doesn't sharpen its voice. It stays wide and usable, like it's given me a choice. If I slow, the room remains. If I stop, nothing fades. Everything keeps holding form, even when I hesitate. It's still early in the ordinary light, nothing calling me to rise. I move through the hours gently without asking why. No spark I need to find, no feeling I must fight. It's still early in the ordinary light, and that feels right. Coffee cools beside the screen, steam thinning in the air. I don't reach for something else than what is already there. Outside clouds drift without aim, neither late nor soon. They don't rush to disappear, they don't hurry into noon. One small task, then one more, no edge between the two. This is how the middle starts, this is what I do. I don't need the light to change, I don't need it to decide. If it stays exactly like this, so can I. No rise, no fall, no clearer view, just staying where the light stays true. It's still early in the ordinary light, nothing calling me to rise. I move through the hours gently without asking why. No spark I need to find, no feeling I must fight. It's still early in the ordinary light, and that feels right. Still ordinary light, that feels right. It feels right. The days stay simple, so do I. The room hasn't changed its mind, neither have I. The light is steady on the desk, time passes by. A window stays half open, the sound is thin. Nothing announces progress, it's within. No sign to check, no mark to meet. Everything moves on quiet feet, still here, still working. I adjust a word, then stop. It's enough. The thought keeps shape without a push, without a bluff. Time doesn't ask what this will be or where it goes. This is how the middle holds and grows. No words to speed, no need to pause. Everything stays as it was, still here, still working. If nothing finishes right now, that's fine. The value isn't in the end, it's time. There's comfort in continuing as is, without applause, without a list. The table keeps its even line. The cup is warm. I read the page I left before. It keeps its form. This is where the hours sit, without a name. I'm still here, still working, all the same. No drifting off, no inward turn. Breathing even, focus firm, still here, still working, still here, still working. Still here. The afternoon knows my name. It doesn't call, it just stays. Lightly, slightly warmer across the day. No change, just ease. The desk feels familiar again, like it remembers where I've been. Nothing asking me to restart, nothing pulling me apart. Outside the street sounds closer now, still distant, still kind. The city hums in softer tones like it's alive. I don't reset my breathing, I don't adjust the frame. I keep moving how I was and it's the same. There's no shift I need to notice, no signal I should see. Everything keeps working gently with me. The afternoon knows my name. I stay, I move through the warmer hours this way. No need to change my rhythm, no need to explain. The afternoon knows my name. Soft with amber light, messages arrive just right. They don't linger in my focus, they pass by. Keys keep up a steady pace, not rush, not slow. Thoughts feel closer than before, like they know. Time doesn't stretch or tighten up, it walks beside it, lets the middle of the day open wide. If I lean in, the balance holds. If I pause, nothing folds. Everything keeps its gentle form as it goes. The afternoon knows my name. I stay, I move through the warmer hours this way. No need to change my rhythm, no need to explain. The afternoon knows my name and remains. The coffee's gone, but focus stays. The air feels softer in this phase. I don't miss the morning light, it's still here. Outside the clouds feel closer now, but they don't fall, neither do I. I'm steady still, one small task, then one again. No cue to rearrange, this is how the afternoon works. When things are the same, I don't need the day to turn, I don't need a sign. If the afternoon can hold me, I'm fine. No rise, no fall, no sudden flame, just staying there. The afternoon knows my name, I stay, I move through the warm and knows this way. No need to change my rhythm, no need to explain. The afternoon knows my name and knows my name. I stay, knows my name this recognizes me and continues. The air shifts before the light, not brighter, just aware. Nothing moves, but something's changed enough to feel it there. The room stays still, but listens now like it knows what's coming next. I don't rush to greet the day, I stay with what's left. No sleep calling out my name, no dream stepping into frame. Every sense still holds its line defined. The air changes first, not the sky, and I feel it too. Nothing pulls my focus loose, nothing asks me to move. The air changes first, soft and clear before the dawn. I stay awake inside this shift and carry on. Lights remain the way they were, but shadows rearrange. The silence holds a different weight, not rest, just change. I reread words without intent, they sound more honest now. This is where the night admits it's loosening somehow. No heaviness behind my eyes, no need to reorganize. Everything remains intact, exact. The air changes first, quietly, and I remain. I don't step into tomorrow yet, I don't explain. The air changes first, and that's enough for me. I stay awake, aligned, intact, and let it be. If the dark begins to thin, I don't follow, I don't lean. Nothing ends because it fades, nothing starts because it's named. There's a clarity in pause, without effect, without cause, just the sense of something near, still clear. Outside waits without a sound, not bright but almost known. The city holds its early breath before it's fully shown. I finish nothing, start posture right away. Tonight the air changes first before the light, and I stay here. Nothing blurs the edge of thought, nothing feels unclear. The air changes first and I remain still awake, aligned, composed, intact at the break. The air changes, I stay. The air lets me think, it stays open this way. No weight in the room, no push, just space and hush. The desk feels light beneath my hands, a cup, a screen, a simple span. Nothing asking me to respond, nothing pulling me beyond. Outside the street keeps distant sound, far enough to let me hear. The city moves without leaning in, it knows its place from here. I don't tighten what I'm doing, I don't sharpen every line. I let the air hold what I need and give me time. There's no pressure in the space, no thought I need to chase. Everything stays possible at this pace. The air lets me think, I stay, I move through the open hours this way. No noise coming into my head, no edge to overthink. The air lets me think, and I sink in, I sink in. Screens glow soft in neutral tones, messages arrive then go. To my focus, they already know. Keys repeat a patient rhythm, not fast enough to press. Thoughts appear then drift apart into rest. Time doesn't narrow what I do, it stays wide and kind. It lets me work the way I work without a line. If I slow, the space remains. If I pause, nothing breaks. Everything keeps holding form at this rate. The air lets me think, I stay, I move through the open hours this way. No noise climbing into my head, no edge to overthink. The air lets me think, and I sink in. Beside my hand, steam thinning into air. I don't hurry, what remains, it stays right there. Outside clouds don't organize, they drift without a plan. Neither do I, not just yet, I'm working where I am. One small task, then one again, no cue to complicate. This is how the middle moves when space is what it makes. I don't need the thought to land, I don't need it clear. If the air can hold it gently, so can I hear. No rise, no fall, no sudden link, just let in think and think. The air lets me think, I stay, I move through the open hours this way. No noise climbing into my head, no edge to overthink. The air lets me think, and I sink in. Lets me think, I stay, lets me think this way. attention stays where it's needed. No pull, no split. It rests on the work and stay with it. The desk feels steady, unchanged. A screen, a note, a workable range. Nothing asking me to divide, nothing pulling me aside. Outside the street keeps even tone, present but not intrusive. The city moves with practical sound on full song. I don't guard my focus tightly, I don't let it roam. I let the attention stay where it's needed at home. There's no drag on the moment, no urge to reset. Everything remains concentrated and set. The attention stays where it's needed. I stay, I move through the late afternoon this way. No signal calling me elsewhere, no need to redirect. The attention stays where it's needed and connects. It connects. Screens glow neutral, clear and calm. Messages arrive with form. They don't fragment what I'm holding, they pass. Keys repeat a patient line, not rush, not slow. Thoughts align with what I'm doing, like they know. Time doesn't scatter what I'm building, and it assists. It lets the late afternoon continue focused. If I lean in, the balance stays. If I pause, nothing frays. Everything keeps holding form as it plays. The attention stays where it's needed. I stay, I move through the late afternoon this way. No signal calling me elsewhere, no need to redirect. The attention stays where it's needed and connects. The cup is empty, focus firm. The air feels clear and serviceable. I don't search for a different task, this is it. Outside, clouds move on their line, no cue to fall, neither do I. I'm steady still, one small task, then one again. No cue to deflect. This is how the late afternoon works, when attention stays. I don't need attention sharpened, I don't need it wide. If it rests exactly like this, I'm aligned. No rise, no fall, no sudden bend, just staying present. The attention stays where it's needed. I stay, I move through the late afternoon this way. No signal calling me elsewhere, no need to redirect. The attention stays where it's needed and connects. Stays where it's needed. I stay. Stays where it's needed. This way. The work continues undivided. Morning crashed without a sign, nothing asking for a line. Light is even, air is clear. The morning doesn't ask from here. I don't answer what appears. Everything is calm and near. The desk is still, the screen is clear. Nothing urgent enters here. Light rests softly on the floor, same as moments just before. I don't offer, I don't take. Let the morning simply stay. There's no call I need to meet, nothing waiting at my feet. I don't reach and I don't ask. The morning doesn't ask. The morning doesn't ask. No request and no contrast. I don't hurry, I don't wait. Everything aligns its way. Time moves gently, wide and slow. Focus stays where it should go. The morning doesn't ask. This is how the calm lasts. Coffee rests beside my hand, like it understands the plan. Outside hums in distant tone, inside stays completely known. Thoughts appear then gently fade. Nothing here needs to be weighed. I don't gather, I don't choose. Let them pass the way they move. I don't check what should arrive. Morning doesn't need a drive. Nothing here requires a mask. The morning doesn't ask. The morning doesn't ask. No request and no contrast. I don't hurry, I don't wait. Everything aligns its way. Time moves gently, wide and slow. Focus stays where it should go. The morning doesn't ask. This is how the calm lasts. Work continues smooth and light. No resistance left inside. I remain with what is near, not distracted, not severe. Breathing even, posture light. Attention stays within sight. In this calm I clearly see. Nothing asking carries me. I don't need to offer more. This alignment holds the door. Every quiet moment spent keeps the balance permanent. Light remains and so do I. Neither rushing, neither shy. This is how the morning stays, asking nothing, gentle ways. The morning doesn't ask, no request and no contrast. I don't hurry, I don't wait. Everything aligns its way. Time moves gently, wide and slow. Focus stays where it should go. The morning doesn't ask. This is how the calm lasts. Morning keeps the even tone. Nothing owed and nothing loaned. Calm remains, the work goes on. The morning doesn't ask.